So here he comes, and when they see him and he speaks to them, then they're like, okay, could this be Jesus? So Peter, ever the bold one, ever the one to speak out, says, if it's really you, Lord, let me walk on the water and come to you. Now, I have been in a boat, not a whole lot of times, but I've been in a boat. Probably the longest time I spent on a boat was when my husband and I went on a cruise with his parents several years ago. And it was a 7-day cruise. So 7 days on the boat. And the first 6 days were actually quite wonderful. We had really good food. We played games. We watched movies. We just walked around the boat. It was great. And the sea was so calm that you didn't really feel like you were on a boat. It just felt normal. But on that last day, a storm hit and everything changed. All of a sudden, we knew we were on a boat. It was harder to walk because the boat was shifting. My stomach did not handle the waves particularly well. I got quite seasick, and I spent the whole day trying to take my mind off the fact that I felt so sick, but nothing I did helped because no matter where you went on the ship, you could see the water rising and falling and rising and falling, and the whole boat was, you couldn't go anywhere to get still. And I can remember how miserable I felt. Not so much that I was scared at that point in time because the storm wasn't that bad, but it was bad enough that I just wanted to find someplace still to lay down, just get feeling better. I remember feeling so horrible. During that time, the last thing I would have thought to ask was to get out of the boat and walk on the water. The storm was rough enough. It was rocking the boat. Big boat. What would it do to me? So Peter, I don't know if it was boldness or stupidity or if he was, I don't know. It's Peter. I can't speak for him, but somehow he decides, and we have to give him credit here, that he would be safer out of the boat with Jesus than in the boat without him. Let me say that again because this is powerful. Peter realized he was safer outside of the boat with Jesus than in the boat without him. Sometimes it is hard to step out of the boat. We want those safety nets. We want those comfort zones. We want those things that make us feel safe. I remember another opportunity I had to be in a boat, and this one was less enjoyable. We were leaders. Jason and I were leaders of our youth group, and we took them whitewater rafting in North Carolina. And I had never been whitewater rafting before. And those of you who know me, you know I am not the adventurous type. Thrill seeking is not, I want to sit and read a book in the quiet place. This was not my idea of fun. But we knew the kids would enjoy it, so we took them. And we were going through all the preliminaries where, the guides would teach you how to do everything, how to sit in the boat, how to stay in the boat, how to hold your oar and all of that. And the first thing we found out was, like I said, how to sit in the boat. And I realized, or I learned, you don't sit in the boat. You sit on the boat. You actually sit on the edge of your raft. And you tuck your feet in this little section in the middle to help secure yourself so you don't topple out. But you actually sit on the side of the boat. I think if I had known that ahead of time, we would have picked a different activity. The thought tipping out of that boat and being in that water terrified me. One, the water was freezing. But two, it just went against everything that my need for security and comfort screamed for. That was out of my comfort zone. That was beyond what I felt comfortable doing. But sometimes Jesus asks us to do things that are outside of our comfort zone. He asks us to do things that are contrary to what we would think of doing or what we would want to do or what even makes sense to us. I mean, in a storm, get out of the boat. Now, granted, Jesus didn't ask Peter, Peter asked Jesus, but it was a show of faith on Peter's part because he realized that he needed to make that move. And Jesus commended him for that by saying, come on, you want to come with me? Come with me. Peter did. Now, I don't blame the rest of the disciples for just staying in the boat. I do commend Peter for getting out.